Hey boys and girls, Rich here with Opera 11.01, and I'm going to cover some basic features of the Opera browser. I'm not going to cover everything because this browser does a ton of stuff. If I were to cover everything, this would be an hour-long video, and I'm not going to waste your time by wasting an hour. So I'll just cut to the chase and get to the stuff I like about it. Here we go. First thing, zoom. It has a slider. Why other browsers don't come with built-in sliders like this, I don't know, but it's pretty darn cool if you asked me. Now, speaking of zoom, other browsers require you to hit, if you're using the keyboard, Control plus or Control minus. In Opera, you only have to hit plus or minus on the number pad. So if you look at your keyboard, assuming you're not using a laptop currently, on the far right side of your keyboard you'll see under the pause break key, minus, plus, and enter on the far right side of the number pad. Just plus, 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 minus. The only one that does require a control keystroke is if you want to reset to 100%, which is Control 0. But that's it. So plus, minus, 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 Control 0. Done. The next thing I'll cover is something only the Opera browser does, and does right. So we'll open a tab, and then I will right click here and do a new private tab, and then I'll open another tab and another new private tab. Now, what is so special about this? Glad you asked. What is so special about this is that notice that the private tab and these standard tabs are in the same window, same session. You can't do this in other browsers. If you open a private session in any other browser, it will launch a separate window to do it. In the Opera browser, it's all in the same browser, and that's neat. You want to know what else you can do? You can group them all together. So if I take this tab and drag it on top of another one, now it's a little group. And I'll make another group. So now I have this tab and two groups, and if I hover over the group, look at that, it even shows little thumbnails. I can jump right to it if I want to. Neat. I can even take this, and do stuff with it like that. And if I want to drag it outside the group, I just open it up and drag it outside. Now I have 3 single tabs and 1 group. Take this one and drag it outside. Now I have 5 separate tabs again. Really easy and almost zero learning curve involved. So I actually showed not only the private browsing, where you can have private and standard in the same session, one window, same browser, and how to do groups, which are pretty easy. When it comes to tab groups, I find that only Opera seems to do it right. Seriously. Now the next thing I'm going to mention is something that's very subtle, easy to miss, but still cool regardless. Now you see this where it says web here. I can right click this and do show full web address, and you'll notice that it adds in the HTTP://. Other browsers force you to take whatever they give you, but with Opera you have choice. Choice is good, very good, and so if you want to see it, you can. The next thing I'm going to show is this menu button. Now some of you are going to look at this and say, hey, it looks just like Firefox. They did it first. Wrong. Opera did it first, and did it better. First of all, it has better color coding. Second of all, compared to Firefox, it doesn't jut out to the right, and I don't like that about the way Firefox does its menu in Firefox 4. It should be just one column with expandable menus, just like Opera does it. Opera's the only one that does it right. And lastly, just concerning this menu in particular, if you want to see the traditional file edit view, so on and so on the top, menu, show menu bar. There it is. And if you're saying, oh, I want to go back, file, show menu bar, and it's back. Why can't it be this easy in other browsers? I don't know. But it's just that easy. Should be that easy in all browsers, but it's not. Now my only real complaint. Actually, you know, before I get to that complaint, one more thing. Okay, you'll notice that when I hover over links, note the bottom left of the browser is that it's showing where these links go. Now, other browsers do this is true, but Opera by default has no dopey animations when you are hovering over links. There is no reason to have a fade or an animation or move it anywhere from, you know how some browsers move it from left to right and so on. Chrome does that. I think Firefox does that too. I think even IE9 does that. Opera does it the way it's supposed to be done. It's at the bottom. There are no animations, and it gives you the information instantly. That is proper. That's the way it's supposed to be. Again, subtle thing, but as far as user interface is concerned, it's done right the first time. Now, my complaint. My only real complaint is in customizing this browser, because it's not exactly straightforward. Now, I showed the Firefox way of customizing recently. This one is arguably a little worse than that. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just that as far as trying to figure it out, well, I'll show you and you tell me. You tell me. Okay, I want to customize this area of the browser. So I right click, customize. Now what I can do from here is I can remove from the toolbar, and the home button is gone. And if I wanted to bring it back, I right click, customize, reset toolbar to its defaults, and there it comes back. But what if you had a bunch of customization? How do you get it back? And you didn't want to reset. Well, right click, customize, appearance, and buttons. Okay. Now something just happened that you probably didn't even see. There's a gold border around the area that you're currently editing. If I click another section, it changes. See that? Now that's not a problem, but the browser really didn't tell you that was going to happen or what it meant, and that's bad. When the browser does things that you don't know what's going on unless someone tells you, that's a no-no. That's a big no-no. So anyway, now that we know that the gold border means that you're editing that current section, okay. Can you drag things from here into this box? No, you cannot. Notice that it has a thing that says no, you can't do that. But I can right click, customize, remove. And I can drag things from in the box out into the bar here. So again, there's no instruction here that's telling you how to do this. If there is I'm sure Opera has instruction that tells you all this stuff, but where would you go? Would you know that you have to go to the menu, help, Opera help? It goes to a website, and you have to go in here and go to, I think it's under panels, or maybe menus. Yeah, see, you have to, there's a lot, way too much digging involved just to find out that simple information for what I just told you. That, okay, yellow borders or gold borders mean this. When you see the appearance box, it means you have to click on the buttons tab and do this and this and that and the other thing. Now, something which is also a source of confusion, but at the same time is insanely cool, is, for example, the Opera browser has a built-in mail client. Let's just say you wanted to check your mail directly from within the main browser section. I can do a check and send and drag that into this where the home button is. So what that means is I can take other parts of the browser that have a totally separate function and drag it into the main browser area, which is neat. I'm writing defense on whether that's actually useful or not, but it's still cool that you can actually do it. So anyway, let's just go back to the regular customization here. Anything you want to remove must be done with a right click, customize, remove from toolbar. Okay, I get that. And anything you want to add back in, you see that I just removed the search bar. Just take left click, drag that out, and it is back. Okay. So like I said, minor complaint at best, but it's good to know because, you know, people like to customize. Now back to the good stuff. There we About :config. This is something you've probably seen in Firefox that brings up all the behind the scenes, so to speak, configurability that you can do with the browser. Well, it's nothing compared to the way Opera does it, because Opera does it just totally awesome for several reasons. First of all, the text is bigger. Secondly, it's categorized. It's very nice. If you want to do a show all like Firefox, and notice how the scroll list is ginormous like in Firefox, you can just do show all. But even so, you've still got nice buttons for save, reset, and default. Neat. Cool. Very cool. And it's easy to see what you're doing. Now, like in Firefox, once you start typing into the search box here, it will only show what matches your search term. So if I want to search for animation, I'll just do A-N-I-M, A-N-I-M. And now it only shows the categories and stuff where it matches your search term. Now there's one here for enable user interface animations. If I uncheck that and save, this is what happens. The screen dims out and it'll ask, are you sure you want to do this? Actually no, it will say settings saved, and it tells you that you may have to restart. You don't have to restart for this one. And now with the user interface animations turned off, when I do a new tab, there is no animation. And when I turn it back on and save, now you see little animations. It's easy. Or I just do default, and then it will change, back to, let's just say a default or reset. So if I, change that, was that supposed to be checked or not? I'm not sure. Default. Oh, it was supposed to be checked. I like that. That's easy. So in a nutshell, that is the stuff I like about Opera. Now as far as performance, just some quick final notes here. Is it fast? Yes, blisteringly fast. I honestly think this browser is faster than Chrome in many respects. I really do. Now, before all you Chrome fans say, no it isn't, the benchmark is blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Seriously, shut up. Get the browser and see for yourself. It loads just as fast as Chrome, and in some cases faster. If you don't believe me, get the browser and try for yourself. So the performance is definitely on par. It is a wickedly fast browser. Performance is not an issue when it comes to Opera. Flash works fine. Everything works fine, and forms work fine. It's just an alternative browser. The reason it is the number 5 browser out there, behind IE, Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. Those are the top 4. This is number 5. Why is it number 5? I'm not really sure, because it's really good. It is really good. You can try it for yourself. Opera.com. Cool browser. And also, if you're thinking this browser doesn't have enough tenure in the marketplace, that's not true either. This browser has been around since the Windows 3.1 days. Yes, it has. I think it's been around since something like 1994. A lot of people don't realize how old Opera actually is as a company. This is a new browser, obviously, but as far as the name Opera, how long has it been around? Well, for some of you out there, for the kids in the audience, longer than you've been alive. Anyway, so I'd give Opera a shot. If you haven't tried it in a while, download it. It's free, of course, and you may dig it.